Hi, my name is Junior Taylor. I wanted to sit with you today and share why I'm running for the Board of Education in Montague County. I'm from Morgantown. I grew up in First Ward, went to First Ward School, Morgantown Junior High, Morgantown High School, and WVU, where I received my BS and my master's degree. And I was a WVU Mountaineer in 1975. And it's wonderful to have the opportunity today to spend some time with you and share my feelings of why I'm running for the Board of Education. The number one reason is I have an autistic child. He's special, he's precious to me, and I adopted him over 3 years ago, but he's been with me for 5 years now. He's from Ukraine, and his name's Vlad. He's a wonderful boy. 4.5 years ago, when I first came in contact with him, all he could do was scream and cry. But I saw what a beautiful mind he had, what a good heart he had. And I saw the potential that he could be something special in life. And so that's why I embraced him in his life. And we didn't know the struggles that would take place later on, getting through the school system, knocking on doors, finding where the help's at to get him help. But I'm proud to say that all these years later, he's in 3rd grade, mainstream, making straight A's, and has made tremendous progress. But to regress a little bit, it didn't come easy. The one question I have for the Board of Education is, why does a parent have to fight so hard for his disabled or special child? I shouldn't have had to fight so hard. My wife shouldn't have had to fight so hard. We shouldn't have had to threaten to go to court to get him help. We shouldn't have he shouldn't have been offered by some administrators to go on drugs just to bring calmness to him. I have problems with that, because we've worked very hard to develop Vlad into a normal human being. You know, we want him to be self-disciplined. We want him to be like any other child, to grow up with the struggles that normal children grow up, to enjoy laughter, enjoy sorrows, but to package it all together to be a healthy young man. And we didn't want to limit him in any way. Just because he's autistic doesn't mean he can't be excellent in what he does in life, because he's brilliant. He fixed my computer the other day. It was just amazing. I couldn't fix my mouse. And he went in there and fixed my mouse for me. He's 9 years old. And then this summer, my wife called me and said, there's a message about you finishing your doctorate degree. And I told her, I said, I haven't called anybody. So I got home, listened to the message, and realized when I listened, they were asking for Vlad, my son. He'd went on the internet, applied for a doctoral program, and they called him to interview him. And finally, after the second time they called, we said, this is impossible because he's only 9 years old and he's autistic. But it just to show you the brilliance he has and the amazing, he's already talking about going to college. And so we've instilled that into him, that he cannot fail. That you keep on trying, you keep on trying, you keep on trying. This is why I'm running for the Board of Education. Because I see a great need. There's so many families out here who don't have anybody to talk to. They don't know where to go for their to get their questions answered. And so it's important that we have a place, one place, positioned in our county school system where I, as a parent, or any parent that has a need, can go to them and say, I need help. And then they can direct us where to go and what to do, and what medical help or what counseling to get, or what education we should go for. And so these are the concerns I have from to have as a special needs parent. The other thing is we struggled so much in the beginning to get him placement. In the beginning, kindergarten, they just threw him into a regular kindergarten, and he was like a little wild animal. He didn't know what to do. He was banging himself and hurting himself, and so we fought to get him into North Elementary School with a wonderful preschool program there, and with some wonderful teachers who could, we believed, really help Vlad get a foundation underneath him which was so critical for him starting out on life. And so we fought and we fought and we fought and we threatened. And finally, we got him placed into that, into North Elementary School, where they did a beautiful job with him. And it's because of that foundation, and they helped us. They taught us how to teach him with picture stories and things like that. So it's how to eat with a fork, how to eat with a spoon, how to cut. You don't realize it unless you have a special child, that you have to teach him every basic little thing in life. So this is why I'm not just the only parent with these struggles. There's a lot of parents out here that never had anybody to tell. And I have a lot of parents calling me and telling me, you know, my son's gone through this, or I went through this, and I fell through the cracks, or my son fell through the cracks. Why do we have to allow children to fall through the cracks? We don't take the time. We don't give the love that's needed. I think our teachers and our administrators are so bureaucratically bogged down with paperwork. And that's what I say, toot, 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 for the Board of Education, because we need to bring some changes. We need to bring help to our teachers. Get the pressure off them. Let them be teachers. Let them be free to teach, not to fill out papers and be bogged down by our bureaucratic system. And my other concern is our schools are becoming so unlocalized. They're becoming these big conglomerations of buildings and land. They forget about the intimate zones we had in the local schools. I went to First Ward School. Now it's a big playground nobody goes to. It's just sitting there, this huge block of beautiful ground. That it's where I played every day. I went down and we played football and basketball and baseball, everything, and we developed relationships. And so when they want to build this new school out on the mile ground, which so many people are against. And why would you want to put a place out there that you lose intimacy? That you can't even walk to school. The children can't go and play. They have to get in a car, go across town, and then through traffic, and then enter into a place that's away from their home. So it's just, let's take time to develop and to think about these issues and the decisions we're making that's going to impact our families. We need to slow down and take our time. There's one problem I want to discuss with you that parents have brought to me and talked about with me, and this is the West test virus. It affects special education students. It happens about every May when the West test is given in our educational system in Montgomery County. What happens is these tests are given to evaluate how the children are doing, and so they get placement, and then also the teachers are evaluated. So it's a basic overall evaluation. But what happens is you've got special education children that have to take this test. My son has to take this test. And they're expected to take it just like every other normal child. And there's a law that states that in each school, if there's 50 or less students involved in it, in special education, that they're not counted in the overall score. If they have more, though, it's counted and takes away from the overall score of the score of the school. And so what's happening is when there's many more students in an educational setting, in one particular, these children are asked privately to stay home sick, called the West test virus, to miss school so they don't have to take the test, so their grades aren't counted in with the other students. This is discrimination. And so what I'm asking is we need to evaluate this. We need to look at this. This is coming to me by some parents and other people that involved in the educational system here. And I think we need to look at it to see what's really going on. Is this really happening? Are we discriminating against our special ed students? And there's a simple solution to this problem. It's exempt our special education students from taking this test. Why not? they're not equipped, they're not ready to take this test. Why would we want to take an autistic child who has no training, who doesn't understand how to speak properly yet, and give him a West test that he's not ready to take? Or other children with dyslexia, other children with ADHD. All these children need to be understood and given evaluation on their individual education plan, the IEP. And why not test them on that? Why not have individual tests based upon their own educational plan for their own life? So this is what I'm asking for, that we begin, one, to change this law to eliminate and exempt all students that are special education students from taking the West test, and also that we look for a better way to implement a test like developed within our IEP system for each student. My name is Junior Taylor, and again, I want to emphasize that the reason I'm running is not just it is because of my son, but I don't want to be so focused just on special education children, but also all the children. We have children that are well advanced and very high IQ and doing very well and independent. We have those in the middle, like a lot of us are, that seem to get lost and shuffled. Then we have the special education children on the other end of the spectrum. I want to develop plans for each student where we care for them, where we help implement things in their life, where we help direct them, mentor them, and bring them to a place where they're productive and not discouraged of going to school, not hating to go to school, but have a future and they're excited. I want to go to school. There's some things I want to learn today. I have a future. And these are some excitements that we need to bred into them as teachers, as parents, as grandparents, and administrators, all together. Let's work together so we can help develop an educational system that our children will want to go to. Friends, I've been so overwhelmed by all your support. All I can ask is you go out and vote and be a part of the solution.